We see our role as putting people back on course. These are clients who have vast reservoirs of strength, but for some reason or another, their lives have taken a turn, many times through no fault of their own.
This is my mom, Rose. Rosalinda Lozano. I love her. Him too, his name is Lorenzo Luis Lozano. And I'm Mario Avila. My birthday is on January 14th.
Mario first came to us when he was 3 years old. It turned out that he also had this illness, this life-threatening illness that his mother had as well, and she passed away shortly thereafter. His aunt needed to get guardianship of him.
Public Counsel was able to help Lisa become Mario's legal guardian.
Mario caught my heart when he was with my cousin Lisa, his second mom. I could see this little boy so happy, so intelligent, always up in spite of all that he'd been through.
That's Lisa, my guardian, but then she passed away.
At that point, we thought that Mario was going to end up in the foster care system.
We started talking, his uncle and I, and he says, will you take him in? And I said, this kid can't go into the system. And she said, yeah, let's do it.
Something just said, just step forward, and it just felt right.
Rose and Lorenzo Lozano came to the guardianship clinic. It's really difficult for caregivers to navigate the court system.
Beth Sulos is always there. If there's anything I could do, let me call them, she would say. I can't even imagine what it would have been without her.
One day, Lolo and Rose, we went to court, and they said I can live with them.
And we told him, okay, you're ours. And he was just jumping, and that was a good day.
Public Counsel was able to help the Lozanos become his legal guardians. It really gave him a sense of peace that he was going to be cared for and there were going to be people for him.
And he's happy, we're happy, and if I can help him to be something in life, then he could give back and help others. Then we've done our job.
Like Mario says, I feel like you're my real mom. And that's an honor.
Group hug.
He loves them and he's happy there, and they really have brought a lot of joy to each other, and it's just wonderful to see.
And a kiss too.
And bubbles.
Michelle Ross is one of our clients in a fair housing suit against two cities that have engaged in old-style race discrimination, trying to keep low-income families of color out of their communities.
In 2009, Michelle moved to Palmdale, hoping to provide a better education and safer environment for her children.
I knew my neighbors knew me, we got along. Me and my kids got invited to gatherings. They came to my gatherings.
But that changed when Michelle's neighbors learned she was a participant in the Federal Housing Choice Voucher Program, known as Section 8.
Who had come to her home for Thanksgiving meals, stopped speaking to her and stopped speaking to her children. And her children literally had the worst things that you can imagine happen to them because somebody else said how she paid her rent.
They put me on a website, I hate Section 8, with my address on the website and said, this is where your taxpayer money is going.
Mayor R. Rex Parris publicly declared war on Section 8.
Section 8 is a plague on our city. I'm toying with the idea of putting up a billboard saying, do not come here if you're on Section 8.
Housing investigators began coming to her home in a way that was designed to intimidate her family and to discourage them from staying in the community in ways that included having as many as 15 sheriff's deputies show up at the door with guns drawn, very visible to the neighbors.
Everything just went downhill. My kids was called niggers, dirty niggers. I had a son that got urine threw on him, walking to school.
Sheriffs will pull them aside, and the first thing that they would ask, mainly African-American youth or Latino youth, they would ask them, is your parents on Section 8?
Disturbing case of racial hatred in Palmdale. The people living in this Palmdale home were shocked when they found a racial slur scrawled on their garage.
My daughter was leaving for school, and we was getting in the car. We looked at my garage, and it had slanted all over there, I hate Section 8 niggers. It was unbelievable. We sat there for a minute, and My daughter turned around, she's like, Mom, can we please just move?
There was a great deal of intimidation and a great deal of fear among Section 8 residents. And when we began this issue, they were even afraid to come out. They were even afraid to talk to the media.
They didn't think that they would be safe at home after these multiple incidents and after they complained to the authorities and didn't get relief.
Public Counsel, NLS, and the law firm of Aiken, Gump, Strauss, Hauer, and Feld filed the lawsuit in June 2011 to end the systemic campaign of harassment and racial discrimination by the city leaders on participants in the Section 8 program, nearly all of them Black and Latino.
Public Counsel stepped in, and that's the kind of legal representation that we need. I thank God for him because I don't know who else would have taken on this issue.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if no one fights for it, it's going to continue going on, it's not going to stop, and it's not going to get better. Kids shouldn't have to go through what my kids went through.
The good news is that the settlement that we achieved has made it so that those kinds of awful, retrograde, discriminatory actions won't continue. I am as proud as I've ever been of anything I've ever done as a lawyer to have achieved that settlement for this family.
Not very many people know that I'm in foster care. In the beginning, I used to see it as a weakness, like, oh, what are they gonna think of me? They're gonna probably think it's my fault.
Nancy was born in India. Her parents moved to the United States and she joined them at age 7. That's when her nightmare began.
It's an argument. My dad first began to sexually abuse me when I was 10. It lasted for 4 years. I think what hurt me the most was the fact that my mom, who gave birth to me, didn't even believe me. So I think that's what hurt the most. Yeah.
Nancy was removed from her home at age 14. Since then, she has lived in 5 different homes once more.
When I first got into foster care, I don't know, I really hated it. My grades were really bad. I wasn't motivated. I didn't really care where my life was headed.
I work with the Transition Age Foster Youth Advocacy Program. My job is to do whatever it takes to get a youth to wherever it is that they want to go.
She always pushes me to do my work. She sees the full potential in me when I don't see it.
It's a challenge for anybody to get into college, and one of the biggest things is that they're provided and have access to all of the resources available, and they can know who to go to.
I didn't know about financial aid. I didn't have any clue about any of that college process and what I was gonna do.
We took Nancy on some college tours last year, and she just ran like she was skipping.
My current foster mom, she called. She's like, oh, you got a package from Cal State East Bay. I was like, oh my God. I don't know, it was so nerve-wracking at first because I was like, what if it said no? She's like, oh, it's a big package. I was like, oh, that means yes. I'm pleased to offer you admission to Pepperdine for the fall 2012 semester.
They'll pay for you to be there?
Yeah.
When she got the first scholarship, she just looked like she had won the lottery. She was so excited, her face lit up.
It felt so good. Felt like somebody appreciated you for once.
Is this from the director of admissions?
Yeah. Chantal is the best, of course. I don't think I could have done anything without her. All these scholarship opportunities, all these schools that I never even dreamed of applying to and accepting from.
So if you got into both of them, what do you do?
She basically gave me the courage to see me for who I am.
I'm very proud of her because I know she's gonna be something big because she's really smart.
I hope I meet a little me one day so that I can help them out. So, I mean, a lot of people help me out, so I've always wanted to give back by, being on the opposite side and providing for that way. Hopefully I work for Public Counsel one day. I feel good about my journey in life and how far I've come. I'm hoping that it keeps going, that my fire just keep adding fuel to the fire.
For us, seeing the sheer number of people that we've been able to set back on the right track is amazing. 30,000 a year. We're probably getting close to 1 million individuals, families, veterans, homeless individuals that we've been able to help during that time. So we're incredibly proud of the impact, but we're even more hopeful about the folks and the families that we're going to be able to help in the years to come.
Visit publiccounsel.org to learn more how Public Counsel helps people change their stories and their lives.